I've got Reid here, and we're going to talk about his day across Minnesota, the dam. First of all, what is the dam? The dam is the day across Minnesota. It's a 240-mile gravel race. Starts at midnight on a Friday in Gary, South Dakota. You race your bike on gravel roads all the way across the state of Minnesota. You finish in Hager City, Wisconsin. They give you 24 hours to complete it, so you have... What's right?
I don't know. I'm going to keep it straight face.
This is Reid's first time doing this on the thing, so he thinks it's pretty funny. You've got from midnight Friday to midnight Saturday to finish. It's a mass start event. Pretty cool event. Both of my sons did it. Kyle, who's 17, and Reid, who just turned 16, did the race. And if you've already watched our YouTube stuff, you saw that Kyle and I did a little bit of Q&A about his bike and nutrition. And now I've got Reid on to join me. Say hi, Reid.
Hello.
Reid's gonna tell us about his race. You just turned 16 the week before, right?
Yes.
This is Reid's bike. What bike did you ride for the dam?
A Jamis Renegade.
Cool. We built this one up, right? Jamis launched a brand new Renegade last year. When we brought some initial ones in, we brought some frames in, because actually bang for the buck for a carbon frame on a gravel bike, these are priced really well. So we built one up for ourselves as a demo and then to ride. It's a 54 centimeter. It fits Reid, it fits me, it fits Kyle. We can make it work. You can watch one of my other reviews on the Jamis Renegade, and I kind of talk about the fit on these bikes. Anyway, Reid, how tall are you?
5'8"-ish.
Yeah, a little north of 5'8", if I remember the last time I measured
like
you.
that.
Yeah, maybe 5'8.5". This bike, it fits you pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah. What did you ride last year?
A 9er RLT.
Yeah, you rode a 53 9er RLT,
Yeah.
which is a little bit more of a neutral geo when it comes to kind of gravel geometry. So let's talk about the drivetrain that you had set up on it. You specifically like riding a 2x, right?
Yes.
What is it about the 2x that you like?
I like how there's not much of a gear jump.
Got it.
Yeah.
You like the granularity in the shifts back here?
Yes.
Yeah. And so what are we on? This is a 11-speed GRX. It's nice GRX stuff. It's the 800 series, but it's the 11-speed stuff from previously. It's not a Shimano crank. This is actually the Easton carbon crank. It's a pretty sweet crank that's on there. These were shipping in on a lot of our 4-star bikes from Niner, I think. I think we converted some of those bikes to some different builds at some point, so we ended up with some extra cranks. Okay, so we got a 2x11, 47 tooth big ring. The dam's fairly flat for the first 180 miles.
160, 180 something.
So that granularity of gear was kind of important to you.
Yes.
So I assume that worked out well and we still liked it.
Yes.
Yeah. How did it work out when you hit the climby, hilly section of the dam, which was the last 60 to 80 miles?
I was kind of in the small chainring for the hills and then just swapped to the big chainring for the downhills, but it's fine.
Was it a big deal?
Not really, no.
Okay. We recabled your whole bike just before the race, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So drivetrain worked out fine. We waxed your chain, right? Hot waxed it. And you're thinking the hot wax didn't last the whole time. You thought your drivetrain started to get noisy around 220 miles?
Like 200-ish, or I can kind of tell from the hills because, right, you're going slower and stuff, so you can just
So you
tell
could
the
hear
shit.
it a bit
Yeah.
more? Got it, yeah. I remember when I went to drop some UFO drip on it just after the race, I could still feel waxy substance around the outside of it, at least. Who knows, you know, it might have been worn out in the rollers. But I don't know, sometimes they say that there's more wax still in there, but it sounds like to you, chain started getting noisy after 200 miles.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, okay. So what else about the bike? So you liked your drivetrain setup.
Yes.
Wouldn't change anything about it?
Probably not.
We don't have your other seat here. Something else that Reid did was interesting. And actually, both boys did this. Kyle and Reid both did this. They set up 2 seat posts and seats for their bikes. In the car, I had another seat post with a seat on it that was already set and taped to the proper height for their bike, and the angle and everything was adjusted. What was your biggest ride going up into it this year?
Like 109 miles.
So a little over 100. So if they were 150 miles in or at mile 200 and they just couldn't take the seat anymore at their last pit, we could quickly swap the seat. We did that twice for you, didn't we?
Yes.
So we swapped your seat at your second pit and the third one again.
Yeah.
Tell me why.
I just wanted a different feeling.
Got it.
Like nothing really else to it, just different feeling to it.
Okay, got it. Yeah. You've been rotating through a bunch of different seats, playing around with them. And we've got a bunch of different test saddles we've been bringing in. Reid's been a little bit of a guinea pig for it. Okay, wheels and tires. What tires are you running?
Conti Terra Speeds 45.
45s?
Yeah.
Cool. We don't carry Trek anymore, but these are some old Bontrager carbon wheels that came off of a Madone. a pretty good customer of ours who's had some wheel upgrades and whatnot, passed these wheels on to us. Reid went and got some tubeless rim strips for him and set his tires up on them for the dam. You thought maybe there's a little bit of aero advantage in them?
Yeah.
They're kind of a narrow rim though, right? Not that bad. They're 21 internal. They kind of got a cheap hub in them, so it's a carbon rim. The hub needs some service in it right now, so the pulls don't sound very good. I think it's a knockoff hub in it, or a generic Formula hub. Anyway, you kind of like your setup, and actually, we dig how these look on there. They look pretty cool. Do you like them? Yeah. The bike looks kind of mean with it set up like that.
It does.
Yeah. Let's talk about your bag setup and your water bottle setup, because I know there's some things there you don't like. And a couple nights before the race or our last night in the shop, we were a little frustrated with it. You had not been running a frame pack up until like a few days before the race, right?
Yeah.
You decided you probably wanted to have one to carry extra lights and stuff.
Yeah, extra lights, a pump, space.
Did you intend to carry a water bottle in there?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you didn't, did you?
I did.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. You could mount one here, but you didn't mount one there. But
Yeah.
you did end up putting one in there?
Yes.
Got it. Kyle had so much extra stuff in there, he never ended up fitting his water bottle in there. I alluded to this in the discussion I had with Kyle, that the Aspero worked out better with this bag and the bottles. Here, we had to run multiple wolf tooth B-rad mounts to adjust the position of the cage. This frame should have another bottle cage mount down here, so you could mount your bottle in a high location or a low location. It's pretty common to do that. I don't know why Jamis didn't do that. They could have done that up here too. And it was mostly just so, you know, you could move your bottles around to put different bags in there. Ideally though, we talked about this, at least Kyle mentioned this, he would have rather just run a bag all the way through, right?
I think that's what he said.
Yeah, kind of like the same thing for you, like what you used to run on the RLT. Yeah. Alpha Dura makes a bag, this same bag in a longer version that goes all the way back, but then you'd have that issue here. But then you would just put your bottles in the bag.
Yes.
Yeah. Which keeps them clean, because every time they came with their bottles, especially the first pit stop, just covered in soil, because you're in a pack at that point riding, right? So
Yeah.
dusty. So didn't like that setup. Would you have added a bottle cage mount down here? It doesn't matter.
I wouldn't have used
Yeah.
it.
I mean, there is one on the frame, but you wouldn't have ended up using it.
Correct. Yeah.
Kyle didn't end up using his either. Like, he basically carried an extra water bottle around the whole time. Let's see, for your seat pack, you got your stuff back here. You want to roll a bunch of your bags too. And then lights. How was your light?
That thing lasted until like mile 200 or something.
You had forgot to turn it off.
I purposely left it on because I wanted to see how long it would last.
Got it. Do you know what mode you had it on?
I had it on lowest mode for a while and then turned it on to the second mode
Got
for a
it.
bit when I was solo and then put it to the lowest mode.
Got it. So most of the time in low mode, a little bit of it in the medium.
There's 4.
Is there 4?
Yeah.
Got it. I have the old one. I don't think the old one has 4. We really like his lights. Kyle used my old one that was the 1300. This is the 1400. They do have lots of battery life. Cool. What else on the bike? Is there anything that I missed that you liked about your bike setup that you would definitely do again? This bag, no brainer.
Yeah.
Easy,
yeah.
flat. Yeah. Anything else about the bike you didn't like, or your setup? We talked about the tires that you have. Did the Contis work out, the Terra Speeds?
Yeah, they worked out pretty good.
Generally, riding before the race, you seem to really, really like them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what did you have to compare to them? You played around with some of the Mezcal 44s earlier this year, right?
Yes.
You didn't care for those.
Correct.
And prior to that, you were riding 45 millimeter Strada Biancas. Actually, that's what we pretty much had on this bike most of the time, right? It was 45 Strada Biancas.
Yeah.
They're sitting right back there. Do you have a preference? These are the Strada Biancas.
I like these a lot better because they roll a lot faster, feel more stable on looser stuff.
You think they roll faster?
Those do. Yeah.
They're more stable?
Yeah.
I think the 40s roll faster, but I mentioned this previously. My seat of the pants, the 45s, although I rode those all last year, they definitely don't roll as fast as the 40 Strada Biancas. And I rode these. I haven't put enough miles on these, but yeah, I feel like these probably roll faster than the 45 Strada Biancas. I'd agree with that. And they wear out pretty fast. We just put these on in the spring. We rotated the tires before the race. Actually, we took them off your bike for the month before the race. I was afraid you were going to wear them out, and I didn't want to buy another set of tires. You would probably just do those same tires again.
100%.
Renegade is spec'd for 50s. I've said this in the review. Man, it's going to be tight putting 50s behind this seat post in there. 50s would be extremely tight, I think, in my opinion. Okay, so let's talk about the nutrition plan then. Pretty much the same as Kyle's for the most part, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
You were using these SIS packs, 4 of these per hydration pack.
Yep.
We ended up switching that up, right? I got a text from Reid at like 5:30 in the morning. It just says, just puked. We kind of had to call an audible there. I keep thinking you were 100 miles in, but you said you were maybe like 95 miles in or something.
I think it was like 91 miles
Nice.
and then kind of like stretched for like 10 miles.
Got it. I just saw him at mile 85, and then he made it to mile 140. That's where we did his second pit stop. We switched it up, didn't we? We ended up switching to this in your hydration pack, right? Which is more electrolytes and less carbs. We're still not sure exactly why he puked. You don't really know?
Yeah, not really too
Yeah.
sure.
But I do know everything that he ate is stuff that you tried in the past, right?
Yeah.
But probably not all in the same combination.
That is accurate, yeah.
So we were concerned with 240 some miles that not fueling enough through the night would lead to not enough carbohydrates to get through the second half. Because you guys, like I said, your longest ride this year was 109, and last year you did Freedom, which was 108 miles or something. We did a 100 and some mile road ride, but that was a road ride and we were ripping pretty good, so it wasn't a long ride time-wise. But anyway, Reid was stuffing all kinds of stuff in, right? So he had dinner, pasta and stuff before the race, and then was down in all the liquid carbohydrates. And then you had a couple of these, right? These Pro Bars.
Yeah.
I love these, but they're thick. You had 2 of these through the night, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. My hunch is, because these are 50 grams of carbs a piece, and they're heavy. And it's like grains and nuts and stuff, that type of thing. Oats, this could be heavy on the gut. I love these too, these SIS bake bars. Did you have any of these through the night?
I did not have any of those through the night.
I think it's on my camera that at pit stop 2, we switched to some of these. We still don't know exactly what, but you fought through it. You weren't sure you're going to. You got to your second pit, and then you were kind of coming around. You were just hungry.
Yeah.
Anyway, so nutrition, it was a struggle because it seemed like after that, you had a hard time. The whole race, you had a hard time kind of keeping stuff down.
Because whenever I would eat something, I just thought I was going to throw up again.
I don't know how you got through the whole thing when I saw how little you were actually taking in throughout it, but you were pretty hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's not much to say on Reid's nutrition plan, to be honest. What would you do again to do it over? What would you do different?
I would prepare better by eating the nutrition like all at once instead of just separated when practicing.
Yeah.
Practice it all together.
You tried all those things in different rides and that type of thing, but maybe the right thing to do is just not mixing too much of it either, right?
Probably.
Yeah. I mean, like, could you have just stayed with the liquid stuff at first, or any ideas?
Kind of hard because you start at night, so then you don't want too much liquids.
Yeah. Anyway, anything else you want to say?
No.
One thing's really cool. Reid sent me a video at like 3 in the morning, something like that. I don't know what mileage, mile 50-ish. I'm not sure. He was on Kyle's wheel and they were on the front of a big old train ripping down the gravel. It was pretty cool to see that. Congrats to Reid. You got it done. You were the 3rd 18 and under finisher, right?
Yes.
I think we counted up. The results are kind of hard to sort through, but I think you were 89th on the overall.
Yeah.
And you finished in just over 18 hours, like 18:05 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So congrats, dude.
Thanks.
All right. So thanks to Reid for doing this. Maybe do a part 2 where we break down kind of how the race played out.
Yeah.
That'll be fun. After doing Kyle's, we realized we didn't really talk about the breakdown of how his race went that well. So we're going to do a part 2, and the part 2 is going to be focused on the race, the play-by-play of how the race played out. Because there's some great stories from within the race itself. Anyway, any questions about the bike, what we do, let us know. This is kind of fun. The bike needs some service. It's actually just needs to get cleaned up for the most part. But we probably, just because of all the dust in it, we'll just take them apart and put them back together. What's the next race? Shawamagun?
Yes.
Yeah. And then Gravel Nationals, and then you and Kyle doing Little Sugar and Big Sugar as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. And I guess we'll figure out if we're going to make any changes for those, but you might not. I don't know, unless we want to run a burlier tire for Bentonville. But anyway, thanks for tuning in.
Thanks.